This is why current healers are destroying your self-esteem and are derailing you spiritually. Hi, if you have no idea who I am, my name is Claudiu Manea. I'm a psychologist and a therapist, and for the past 10 years, I've been helping people just like you have aligned lives, strong families, and inspired businesses. And today I want to talk to you about this topic, which is a topic that's been bugging me ever since I started studying psychology more than 25 years ago. And it's the idea that a lot of people involved in psychology, healing modalities of any type, and a lot of ideas that these people have that you are somehow inherently broken, that there is something wrong with you, that you are traumatized, that you are hurt, that you need fixing, that you need healing, that you need repairing, and so on. And granted, not all people involved in healing of any type have these ideas, but they are very present nowadays, and you can pretty much see them everywhere. You get bombarded with content regarding this idea every day, multiple times. And it's a very dangerous idea. And it's dangerous, first of all, psychologically, because when you keep hearing these things, that you are broken, that you're hurt, that you, oh no, you're doing these things because you're traumatized. You yell at your child because you're traumatized. You have a childhood trauma. You cannot get along with your husband or your wife because you are emotionally hurt, and all of that. And what this does to our psyche, to our self-esteem, is that it chips away at our self-esteem. And if you let these ideas permeate your conscious mind and eventually your unconscious mind as well, you are letting a label or a diagnosis get attached to you, but to the core idea that you have about yourself. Okay, so this goes way deeper than just self-esteem. This has to do with the way that we think about ourselves, which is the self-image. And if we let this type of these ideas get attached to who we are at the core level, what ends up happening is that we will begin limiting ourselves. We will begin acting according to the label, according to the diagnosis, which is, in psychological terms, it means that you are installing a limiting belief, and it means that you are giving away most of your power, most of your freedom to choose, most of your freedom to move freely in your life, and most of your discernment in various situations to do what you need to do and what you feel that you should be doing. And this is a very problematic situation to be in. And when you hear all these people talk about how hurt you are, how traumatized, and so on, what ends up happening is that you are being placed in an inferiority position. And that inferiority position eventually leads you into victimhood mentality. And you end up seeing yourself as a victim, which again makes you feel powerless, or makes you feel even more powerless to deal with whatever you have to deal with. And this from a psychological point of view, is absolutely devastating to your self-esteem, but much deeper than that, to your self-image, like I said. And that's not all, because this is just the damage that's done on a psychological level. But now, let's talk about the damage done on a spiritual level. And I'm going to refer to the spiritual level, taking into account Christian beliefs. But I think that this idea might actually apply to different religions as well. So just bear with me for a moment. You may not have such strong beliefs, you may not even be a Christian, however, the idea still applies. So, the problem with seeing yourself as broken on a spiritual level is that we are created in the image and likeness of God. And if you accept the idea that you are broken, traumatized, and in need of some sort of fixing, you are committing an insult against God. Because, like I said, us being made in the image of God doesn't go well with this idea that we are inherently broken. And this derails you on a spiritual level as well. So this idea is dangerous on many fronts and on many levels, not just one. And what I can advise you to do is that whenever you hear someone talking about how broken, how traumatized you are, and so on, just block it out entirely out of your mind, and be very careful what you allow inside. And being careful what you allow inside means being careful what your eyes see and what your ears hear. That's what I'm talking about when I say be very careful with this stuff. But I see, like I said, I see a lot of these messages being pushed everywhere, and these messages are slowly chipping away at your self-esteem, are slowly chipping away at your self-image, are derailing you spiritually, and are doing you more harm than you can imagine. So, if you are somehow charmed by these ideas of being broken and being healed by whatever modality you may come across, then fine. Just be aware of the risks and of the actual implications of accepting these ideas inside your mind. And as soon as you accept an idea on a conscious level, that's the starting point of that idea trickling down into your subconscious and unconscious mind. So do not be fooled that it will not happen. It will happen eventually, and it will do you much more harm than good. Now, I'm not saying that we should ignore whatever bad stuff has happened to us. I'm not saying that we shouldn't try to work on healing whatever damage we may have experienced, whatever painful experience we went through. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying do not allow these things, do not allow these events to become core part of who you are, because they are not, and you should not allow those things to affect the core of who you really are. Okay? So if you want, I'm going to link a bunch of resources in the description of this video that may be helpful to you. If you want to hear more from me and you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the notification bell. Whether you do that or not, thank you very much for taking the time to listen to this, for making it up until the end, and I hope you have a great day moving forward. Bye.